We did add a toolbar in the last lecture. Let's now add a logo. And I'm not going to add the logo to navigation. I'm going to add it to components because theoretically we could use that logo anywhere in the application. So I'm going to create a new folder there, logo, and in that folder a new file, logo.js. Now I actually want to use an image file as a logo. So I'm going to store that image file in the assets folder. To be precise there, I'll also create an images subfolder into which this image should go. Now you can find that image I'm talking about attached to this video. Simply add it to the images folder then, and you should get this burger logo here. Burger with a transparent background. Now I want to use that logo in the logo.js file. And the logo component is just going to be a functional component. So as always, a component which looks like this, which imports React, and which then of course exports this function as the default. And now I simply want to display that image here. I also want to wrap it in a div which sets the background for the image though, because the image itself has a transparent background and I want to set a white one here. And of course we could even go so far to accept the background color via props and change it dynamically, but that's not what I'm going to do here. So we have this wrapping div, and in there we're going to have an image tag. Now the image tag will have a source property, and this should actually be set dynamically. Now you could think that you simply say go up to the assets folder and then to the images folder and to burger logo PNG. Now this will not work as you would expect it to work due to the way our build workflow here is set up. Keep in mind, the source folder is only the folder we're working in. In the end, Webpack will take all these files, bundle them together and create a new output folder. We can't see that here because we're in development mode where all of that will happen in memory. But once we do publish our app, we will get a real different folder where all the optimized, compiled and bundled assets are contained in. Now, therefore, this assets folder here in the source folder will not be shipped to any real server. The whole source folder won't be shipped there. Hence, we should also make Webpack aware of the fact that we're using this image, and we're actually doing that by importing the image into our JavaScript file. Now, of course, just like for the CSS files, this does not mean that Webpack mixes the image with our JavaScript code. How would that look like anyways? It just means we make Webpack aware of the fact that we're using this image, and Webpack will then handle this image with a special plugin or a special module that was added to Webpack to its config. Will handle the image, will basically copy it over to the destination directory it creates, again, only in memory during development, and will even optimize the image. So here we can simply import burger logo from and now the path to the image. So in assets, images, and the file. And burger logo here will in the end just receive the path of the image where Webpack will copy it to. So this will be dynamically resolved. So here we can simply set source to burger logo. And this will again refer to a string in the end to the path where Webpack stored the optimized and copied image. This is important to understand. Now I'll also set an alt text where I simply will write my burger or whatever your brand name should be. So this is the image. Let's now make sure that we also have a background color. And for that, I'll add a logo CSS file. There, I'll create a logo CSS class where I want to set a background color of white, maybe set a padding of, let's say, 8 pixels around the image so that it doesn't stretch to the edges of that surrounding div. And that should be it, I guess. Make the div of height 100%. And now, important, let's also style the image inside that div, which will receive that logo class here in the end. And let's set the image height to 100% too, so that the image does take this height at a maximum and it does not take its default inherent height, which would be higher. Now save that file and of course import it. Import the classes from the logo file in your logo.js file. and then assign your class name, classes, logo to the surrounding div. Let's now use this and see if the styling fits our needs. I'll go to the toolbar component because that is where I want to use it, here. And of course, I'll now add it. So I'll import logo from, and now we have to navigate up all the way to the top components folder and import that logo from the logo.js file. And here I can then simply import my logo component and add it to JSX. Save everything. And this looks okay. I guess I don't want my image to span the full height of this. Maybe there should be some brown space around it. So what we can simply do is in the toolbar, in the logo, adjust the CSS code to make sure that the logo only uses 80% of the width. Now I can already say we will have to touch this later on again when we start implementing this in the side drawer, but for the toolbar, this should actually do it. Let's also set the box sizing to border box so that the 80% height also includes the padding. And finally, maybe let's also give this a border radius of 5 pixels to have rounded edges. Now with that, if we save this, we get this logo, which looks really nice in my opinion. Of course, you can always tweak this to your needs. Let's next start working on the navigation items then.